Buyers, you may face less competition as bidding wars ease. One of the top stories in recent real estate headlines was the intensity and frequency of bidding wars. With so many buyers looking to purchase a home and so few of them available for sale, fiercely competitive bidding wars became the norm during the pandemic, and it drove home prices up. If you tried to buy a house over the past 2 years, you probably experienced this firsthand and may have been outbid on several homes along the way. But here's the news you've been waiting for. Data shows clear signs bidding wars are easing this year. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the average number of offers on recently sold homes has declined considerably over the past few months. Dropping a lot. That is a big drop right there. The graph, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, shows homes were seeing a high of around 5 offers earlier this year, but the latest data shows that average was down to just shy of 3 offers per recently sold home. This shift is happening largely because rising mortgage rates moderated buyer demand and slowed home sales, resulting in a growing supply of homes on the market. Essentially, more choices for borrowers. What this means for you, if you put your home search on pause because you were outbid last year or because you didn't want to deal with the peak intensity of bidding wars, you can breathe a welcome sigh of relief while it's still a seller's market. An uptick in inventory gives you a window of opportunity to jump back in. You may still be competing with some buyers, but it likely won't be anything like it was just a few short months ago. And don't forget, if you're looking at these issues, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to throw a curveball at our team here, but that's okay. I do that all the time. Go to rsrreenter.com, rsrreenter.com, and you're going to be able to get a layout, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's a little bit of a layout of how you can actually get back into this market. When you're looking at the market right there, there is payment assistance. And we do that payment assistance. It's a 30-year payment assistance. It's not a short term. So remember, when you're looking at that portion of it, you want to be dealing with, you want to compare apples and apples. You don't want to just go and get a short-term fix. You want to get that, go to rsrpaymentassist.com. And you're going to actually be able to see how to get into that a $900,000 property. Roll back the interest rates. I like the idea of rolling back those interest rates. Easy for me to say. Rolling back those interest rates to a time and day when it was a little bit easier to get into the properties. Yeah, maybe the earlier part of this year. Maybe you need extra buying power because property values have gone up so much. RSR Reenter shows you how to do that as well. Now, our team has a great program for that. We have a program where you just have to give us a call, 800-306-1990. Tell us what the pricing is of the properties that you're looking at. We're then able to go in and look at those and figure out, okay, what if we have payment assistance? Does payment assistance cost the seller anything? No, it does not. That's the big issue. I've had some folks recently that have come up and they've said, well, Ron, my seller doesn't want to help with the payments. Well, your seller's not really helping anything. They're just going and structuring the transaction in such a way that the buyer is able to afford maybe a full price offer. Think about that one. Now, I know there's some people that, they don't like full price offers. They want to go back to the days where they have to negotiate down. Well, this one here gives you the opportunity of looking at a full price offer and then adding more to it. You're adding a amount needed by the buyer in order for the buyer to afford the property because they're lowering the interest rates. That's why it works. So we've shown this before where we're looking at this $900,000 property. Now, rates are back up again, so I don't know what they're going to be, but I did this based on a 6.25% interest rate. 6.343 was the APR. Payment budget was $5,500 a month. Needed 20% down, so the funds needed to closing costs and all, $193,000. Now, full price offer plus the cost of doing the payment assistance. So we're going to make an offer of $930,000, 20% down. Able to roll back the interest rate to 4.75 in this hypothetical scenario. I don't know what they are today, but I'm just educating you. So you're using that $30,000 from the seller. It's got to be from the seller or else it doesn't work. There are high cost and predatory lending guidelines that we have to understand and navigate. 5.217 is the APR. That APR is used for comparison purposes from loan program to loan program. Your payment is based on your interest rate at 4.75. But at $930,000 at a 4.75, the payment now drops to $5,000. But you say, oh, Ron, but the prices went up. Okay, let's use the same concept. Let's go to $1,050,000. Now we're back at the same $5,500 payment because we've got a 4.75 interest rate. That's how this works. Now, I know that I just went over that very, very quickly with you, and I know that the likelihood of you understanding all of what I just went through is somewhere between slim and none. I get it. But the issue that I want you to understand here is it can be done. And our team knows how to do it. We know how to do it. Now, that is not a short-term payment. That's for the life of the loan. If you keep the loan for 30 years, you keep that payment for 30 years. You know, a lot of people that say, well, that's just a teaser rate. No, it's not. Now, next week, I think it is, we're going to come out with some programs that'll help with payments using the teaser rate. But we're going to combine it with our payment assistance plan. So you may end up with a two handle. What is a two handle? That means your interest rate starts with a 2. Could it be 2 1/4? That's a 2 handle. 2 1/2? That's a 2 handle. 2 3/4? That's a 2 handle. So we're going to probably come out with that next week. It'll probably be something with a 2 handle to start with. You have that rate for a year. Then you go to a 3 handle for a year. And then you go to the payment assistance for the next 28 years or however long you keep that loan. Not a lot of people doing that concept because they're worried about the predatory lending rules. Well, I've already talked to our underwriters. I've already talked to our secondary and capital markets people. We are all on the page where we understand what the guidelines are and how to do this where our investors will be happy with it. And we've already closed loans for people using this strategy. Now, I'm a big believer, and I've shared this many times. Most people call, and what do they want to know? What's your rate? Well, do you want the rate that we're quoting, or do you want the rate that's being locked? Maybe they're not the same thing. What is most important? Do you want a rate, or do you want a payment? There's different ways of going about that as well. Most people find that what's important to them is the payment. You're not going to pay off the loan in most instances. What you're going to do is you're going to be in that property, you're going to accumulate equity, and then you're going to sell the property. Now, young people, if you're listening, young people, you should be. You should keep the property. Accumulate some money on the side, and when you see what the down payments and the conforming loans and jumbo and the high balance loans and FHA loans go to next year, you can almost buy anything that you want that's in your budget using some of the low down payment options. 3%, 3.5%. Yes, veterans, you get 0%. USDA, most of those are 0% down payments. But buy a new property, keep the old one. That's how you accumulate wealth. Do you ever notice how most people accumulate wealth? I was looking just the other day. I was having a conversation because we are going into football season. I grew up here in Southern California as a Ram fan. I dropped them for various reasons, but they were in St. Louis, and I was not as big a fan when they were in St. Louis. But I was looking at the ownership of the Rams, Stan Kroenke. You know where most of his money comes from? Well, I mean, he had a big nest egg when he got married to Miss Walton. But Lots and lots of real estate. A lot of the Jerry Buss, right? Former owner of the Lakers, real estate. Jack Kentcook, Lakers, real estate. Buy real estate. Buy it, hold it, keep it.